Vacuum and Sewing's live stream for Wednesday, January 10th. Come on over, Jeannie.
Here I come.
Oh, wow. That was like that may be the only time ever Jeannie has agreed with me. Normally she's like, no, I don't want to do it.
Because I'm doing stuff.
I don't want to do the live stream today. So we don't have a ton to talk about this morning. We are 100%
Here I am.
focused
I was busy cutting kits.
on getting kits and the like out.
If you're waiting for your mini quilt, it might be Friday or Tuesday. Just because we're waiting on one fabric in April and one fabric in February. So we had to...
Coconut cream.
Oh my God. Coconut, just know for save the date, I've just been kidding everything with royal icing. Because it's beautiful. Royal icing is so pretty.
Is that what you would have chosen to kit it with?
Oh yeah, you know what? I don't think I would have noticed. I wouldn't notice the difference between the two unless you put them right next to each other, and then I'm like, oh, okay. Then I can totally tell.
Do you mark the ones that have it not, or?
Everything has royal icing right now because there still is no coconut cream. Coconut cream, where are you? Yes, so we're waiting for coconut cream. My rep said the 15th, but who knows? I'm sick of waiting at this point. And royal icing should be here Friday or Tuesday. So we'll have all of that for you.
So, we are shorthanded one person in service today. And I mentioned that just because I was talking to Max yesterday and he's like, no, we're pretty much getting stuff back within the week.
Yeah.
Like, we had people picking stuff up that had dropped their machines off on like Wednesday. But, as I mentioned yesterday, we are trying to keep everything,
Maybe grab that hoop for me, that 9.5 by 14. If you haven't gotten one, if you have a Solaris or Luminaire, and you know they don't come with the 9.5 by 14 inch hoop, you should get it because our rep sent us extra at that sale price. So it's normally It's normally $279.99, and we did it for like I think $139 off. So it's $139.99. $139.99. This is
like half off.
It's like 99 cents, not half off. It would be if we did $139.99, $139.50. Then it would have been half off. This is the one they don't even make. Brother doesn't even make it for us to buy the one without the positioning marks. But who cares?
Well, it's the same price as both. Like there's a price difference on some of the hoops.
It was a little bit more. But this, I always say, who cares? And it's better to have the one with the positioning marks because you never know. Maybe you'll get an extra machine that has the positioning,
or maybe you'll see that app,
and then you'll have it ready to go, and it works just like the regular. It just has the little sticker on there. So if you've been waiting, get it. And if you get it online, I think it isn't on there. We can't put it at that price because it's below MAP. But just say you want it for the $139.99, and you'll get it for that.
And that is the SA. Do you need me to clean your glasses?
Let me see. No, they look fantastic.
That is the SA449S hoop.
Yeah, so we have a bunch of them, and they're ready to go. So.
And we're actually gonna return a bunch of them. So.
We had ordered
do it like you got about 48 hours on that one.
That is not it, Heather. That one. Oh no! I think you're right. We'll that's
and we'll
probably
discount from that.
We'll discount from that $169.99. Thank you, Heather. You know more than me. Kimberbell kits do not count towards your bonus CD. So if you're doing the Kimberbell event, we're doing that tomorrow. So the Easter tier event, Michelle's going to start it off. We're starting at 9.
So this is a common question, but like what counts and what doesn't count towards those bonus CDs?
So it's got to be physical product. I had somebody ask me if Digital Dealer 2024 would count, and I emailed my rep, and she goes, no, it does not count. So designs like downloads, like those things, those do not count. It has to be physical product. It cannot be an event kit. And fabric does count. At first they told us fabric didn't count, and then they told us fabric does count. And yeah, I think that's everything you see behind me, that counts. So all this physical product stuff, that's what counts towards your bonus CD. Hopefully that answers. Does that answer it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
So, and we did talk about, the fact that we'd take a little bit of time to do technical questions today. So if there are some more technical questions, let's kind of post those so I can try to answer them in the next couple of minutes. Let's talk about
You want to talk about needle threaders?
So, needle threaders. How many times have you had a needle threader that doesn't work?
I've never bent my needle threader.
I've never fixed it for you ever.
Ever.
So
these are things that will...
The needle threader, and this is so people understand. So, and quite frankly, I don't have problem needle threaders. Like, I have problem customers. Like, there's some people whose needle threaders just never work. And I know they want to blame their machines, but that's not accurate. The needle threader on the Brother machines come down in one location and one location only. And the reason that I mention this is the number one reason I believe that people's needle threaders stop working is they don't do needle down, needle up. The machine, when you do needle down, needle up, always puts the needle in the correct position. Beyond that, I'm not really sure why some people have more problems than others. But keep in mind the needle and the as long as the needle's in the correct position and the needle is straight and the needle's all the way in the machine,
yes,
that needle threader will work like it's 100 out of 100. And so when the guys repair the needle threader, like we always say 10 out of 10, but the guys will literally thread a machine over and over and over again like 30 times. Like they'll sit there and do it as many times as they can. And then, the reason I say 10 out of 10 is it's not 9 out of 10. It's not 19 out of 20. It's not 29 out of 30. Like it's 100% of the time that they see that it's threading the machine.
So let's go through the things that can bend your needle threader, because that threader, that little needle threader, it's a fine wire. And so if it tries to go through the hole and your needle's not up all the way in the right spot, it's going to go to the left or to the right. So your needle's bent. If your needle's bent, then that can bend your needle threader. If you're using thread that's too thick for the eye of the needle. So let's say you're using a 30 weight thread and you're using a 70-10 needle, which is like extra small. It can't fit through there, and that can bend your needle threader too.
So there's other thread that's not recommended for use with the needle threaders, monofilament and metallic threads.
I always use it.
So, and
I've never had a problem.
Part of the reason for that is the way the thread interacts with the needle threader.
Yes.
Like to a certain degree, like that thread sometimes has like a little bit more challenge just working its way through the machine, and it can get caught on the needle threader.
That can bend it.
Needle position is most important. And Marlene, it doesn't matter. Sewing and embroidery, needle threader is always the same. So needle up, needle down. Like if you follow those steps, those needle threaders should work 100% of the time. Yes, if you don't get the needle up all the way, and that happens way more than people think. Like you'd be amazed, several times a week somebody comes in, my needle threader's not working. what's crazy about that is 9 times out of 10, like there's a little window there that I think is hard for a lot of people to see. So we can visibly look at a machine and go, the needle's not up all the way. 9 times out of 10 that happens, and like we're talking a couple of times a week, I open it up, push the needle up all the way, close it, and the needle threader works. New needles. So that's the first thing that we check when the needle threader is not working. We put a new needle in it. And like that's more of like a 50-50 or 40-60 kind of thing. Maybe less than half the time we put a new needle in it and the needle works. I've had a remarkable number of customers. Like, and you're somebody. Did you tell me at one point that you're not a consistent needle up, needle down person?
Okay. Well, Karen asked, do you have to do that every time? If I'm embroidering, I don't do needle up, needle down because it cuts and it puts the needle in the highest position. If you're one of those people that uses your hand wheel and you're like putting it down and putting it up manually, you should always be doing needle down, needle up. I rarely
from a tech standpoint, like
I rarely do needle down, needle up because I'm sewing. I hit my cut button. It automatically puts it in the highest position. I'm embroidering.
It's not the highest position, and that's the
challenge.
It
puts it in the correct position. I'm embroidering. It automatically cuts. It puts it in the right position to rethread it the next time. So I rarely do needle down, needle up, unless I'm touching my hand wheel. And then I always hit my needle down, needle up.
So that said, from a technical perspective, like they tell us always needle up, needle down. Nothing else counts.
As a sewist,
she heard me say that, and she's like, I don't do it. And I'm like, but the tech in me is like, save me the headaches and just tell them to do needle down.
No, because from the sewist and the person who's actually sewing and embroidering, and you're changing that color like 50 times, you're not going to sit there and do needle down, needle up every single time. As long as you're not touching your hand wheel, and you have that, your machine like cuts and automatically puts the needle up. We're talking our Baby Lock and Brother machines. It's always going to put it in the spot that's ready for you to just thread.
And I'm just adding the asterisks that from a tech perspective, they're like always use needle down, needle up.
It's redundant.
I've had a remarkable number of customers that like went from having issues to being like, ever since you told me needle down, needle up, I've never had that problem again. And so like that's going to be one of those things that you hear slightly differently from Jeannie and me. Like I cringe a little when I hear that because I've had customers that have had problems with their needle threaders, and then once they start following that protocol,
I'm gonna disagree
because
I have never bent my needle threader, and I do not do needle down, needle up every time I rethread.
So what percentage of our customers do you think have never bent their needle threader?
I don't know. 0.
She's the luckiest person in the world. So
the only time I had to have you fix my needle threader is when I lent my machine to somebody else, and when it came back, the threader was
totally
bent.
jacked. It was totally jacked. It's amazing how many people lend their machines or lend their vacuum or something like that. So and Marlene, that's not just for you. Like there's certain people I see for bent needle threaders all the time. But the thing is, like just knowing mechanically how the needle threader works, either the needle's bent, it's not in the correct position, or something that wasn't supposed to happen happened in there. It is
answer this.
It is a tough thing. Plenty of Kimberbell to buy. Did the multi-needle 8x8 hoops come in yet? No, they did not. That's one of the things that we are waiting for. I'm having a really hard time sliding my 9.5 by 14 inch hoop on and off. So it's funny because a lot of times customers come in and complain about that. Like what they're describing as a difficult time, I don't really describe as a difficult time.
I beg to differ.
That said, there are, if it is the only hoop that you're having a difficult time with, you could make sure that the hoop is clean. And then I've had a couple of people tell me that like they've been told to sand down the outside of the frame.
I want to talk about this because as somebody who is doing the embroidery and has all the different hoops, the hoops that come with, and if we're talking about Luminaire and Solaris, the hoops that come with the machine, the 4x4, the 5x7, the 10.5 by 10.5, and the 10.5 by 16 slide easily on and off. The ones that didn't come with the machine, sometimes those, like I have hoops that I have to hold the part that it slides onto. I hold it and I shove that hoop on and they're difficult to get on. So like my 8x12, I can't remember if my 9.5 by 14, and I remember talking to tech and them saying that the ones that didn't come, those are the ones that people I think are having issues with that aren't sliding on totally
You know, a lot of people early on had a really difficult time with that 10.5 by 16. And so there is an adjustment that we can make on the machine.
I think that, like, I remember talking to somebody in tech, and they said when you look at that hoop, you're going to see a spot on it where it's, like, darker. Like, I can see it on mine. I've never done what they told me to do.
Was this Baby Lock Tech?
This was Baby Lock Tech.
Okay. So Brother Tech would never...
But they did tell me to kind of where it's...
Sand it down.
To sand it down a little bit. I've never done it. I just kind of, like...
Yeah.
And like shove it on there. But I have hoops that are really hard to get on my machine. And it's honestly, I've been just lazy.
So
this
with
weekend,
the 10.5 by 16 inch hoop on the Luminaire, like in the Solaris, like one of the things that we heard a bunch early on was that people were having a difficult time with that 10.5 by 16 inch hoop. And quite frankly, like most of the hoop holders, that's just going to be what I call it, where you slide your hoop in and lock it down. They have like one little leaf spring that holds the hoop on there. The Luminaire Solaris had two.
I think you and I should take one of my my hoops.
Yeah, no,
and
we can
just
check
give
it out.
a light sand.
I'm always so this is one of those things from a practical perspective. Like people were really struggling with those 10.5 by 16 inch hoops. And then when early on, when I was calling and talking to tech, they were like, you know, they're made to be held on there tight because they're big. We don't want them rattling around. And what we ended up doing is like we could reshape those leaf springs just a little bit to hold a little more lightly. I'm one of those guys that like, I don't want to be the guy that tells you to modify your hoop. Like I'm really hesitant to be like, yeah, sand it. Because if you sand, you can always take off more, but you can't add what you've taken off. And so like, I'm really hesitant to tell people to do that. I'm also really hesitant because I think it's very, very difficult to actually sand uniformly along that line. Like I worry that you round something and then the hoop is loose or something like that. But that could be something that you do. And what she's talking about is where it contacts the metal, it will oxidize a little and leave a little dark mark. Like I could understand that. But it's funny because, and I'm not telling you that Baby Lock Tech is wrong. I'm just telling you, I know that, and we're going to see Charles, like maybe we could even convince Charles, like Charles is coming in the next 2 months. We don't have a total date yet, but when Charles is here, maybe we'll do like a technical Q&A for Brother machines or any of the Brother made machines, we'll say, to ask him some of those questions. So Shelly, long story short, like Jeannie's saying, she was told she could like sand that area down a little bit. I'm really hesitant telling customers to do that. But if that's what it takes for you, that's what it takes for you. And if all the other hoops slide on fine, I mean, the reality is there is no difference between the hoops that are in the box that come with the machine and the hoops that you're buying separately. Like the 9.5 by 14 with marks, those are the same hoops that go in those boxes. Like I've got a couple of folks waiting for like upgrade 1 for the Luminaire, and quite frankly I think they're waiting for that because we're waiting on 7 by 14s, and that was part of that upgrade. So just something to consider. Somebody asked if we service FOF. We do. I can't do warranty work on FOF as I'm not a dealer, but we work on all makes and models. I broke the lower spool bar on my Altair. Can you get me a replacement? Are you talking about the spool pin that sits like just outside of step number 1? And if that's the case, absolutely. I can get you whatever parts you need for any of the Baby Lock or the brother made machines, even the Baby Lock machines. I'll call you about your cabinet, Marilyn. It is coming. I'm going to have a date probably Friday. There's a backstory there on they opened a new factory at this is the very short version of the story, but they opened a new factory in Texas for Unique to accommodate more cabinets. That factory was opening like 2 weeks before Christmas, and the first day the factory was open, they lost 100% of their power. And so their holiday was spent getting that factory up and running. Pat was supposed to be here before Christmas and did not make it because of that reason. That's what I thought I would never do on embroidery. I'm not sure exactly what that comment means, Marlene, but hopefully I answered your question. Why does my bobbin sometimes sound like it hop, which causes a loop on top of my project? That's actually an excellent question. I think that's Shirley that asked that question. That is not your bobbin hopping. That is a burr in the machine. And so every time the machine operates, you have a full rotary hook in there that is grabbing thread and pulling it around the bobbin case. And when that thread gets caught on something, it causes that bobbin case to move. It goes boop. And so it does sound like the bobbin is hopping. Is it the bobbin hopping? No, it is not. But that catch is keeping the take-up lever from operating properly. And that's what you're hearing is like the take-up lever goes up. And then it causes the take-up lever to pull thread from the top rather than the bottom, because the thread that's on the bottom is caught, and that causes a loop in your project. So the bent mine only once. Okay. So Shirley, if that's happening, it's a burr most likely in the hook or in the bottom portion of the machine that needs to be buffed out. That's something that you definitely want the techs and I to do. So bring it in and we'll get that taken care of for you. I never do up and down, but then I never touch the hand wheel. I'm with you, Jeannie. Bent mine only once. That's Momo about to go in the crate. Yes. Take him to the crate first. Is that Noel Macy? So that said, two different sensors there, by the way. There's a sensor at the hand wheel, which is where it stops the machine. And there's a sensor for the take-up lever and the, which sits kind of on the inside of the tension unit. That is, hey, Jeannie, can you crate him? So like two different things. The machine should always stop with the hand wheel at 12 o'clock, which would be in the correct position. But like I said, like from a tech perspective, we're told always needle up, needle down. I'm a needle up, down every time. So have you ever bent your needle threader, Miss Chronowetter? That would be the question there. It's the 8x12. Is that the Does that mean you're struggling to push the 8x12 in? I mean, there is going to be some variation there. Some of them are going to be a little bit more challenging. Let's see. You had to repair a broken bar internally that messed up how my machine would thread. Glad to hear we fixed it. Hoops that are very stiff to get on the machine, but I feel like I'm going to bend break if I push it too hard. So, like I said, each of those hoops, like if we're talking about that pushing on and off, as the hoops got bigger, the leaf springs to hold those hoops got tighter. So we can fix that. It's just something something to consider is we can reshape those leaf springs, make them easier to get on and off, but they may vibrate a little bit more. When is the Dream Panel class going up? The Dream Panel class is up. Will you save a 9.5 by 14 inch hoop, please? Yes, I will. And then I looked up Filtech bobbins. Doesn't matter which bobbin case you use for either 60 or 90 weight threads. So the machine is spec'd for 60. That is what we use to, like, if we throw a tensionometer on the machine. Sorry that our dogs caused your dog to go crazy. Looked up Filtech bobbins. In theory, if you're using like a 90 weight, like an Invisifil or something like that, you might want to use what is known as the blue dot bobbin case. Some machines come with like one with a red dot on the inside, but that is the bobbin case that you can adjust manually. So, and there's that box is like filled with tons of goodies.
Okay.
So, the panel class, I put up 2 sessions. I put up 2 sessions for the Solaris Luminaire Destiny Dream Machine, one on February 1st and one on February 9th. I put up 1 session for the Stellar Altair, the machines with the positioning camera, or the positioning app. And that is on February 1st in the afternoon. And if that one fills up, then I'll add another one. I wanted to tell you something about that. If you want a snap hoop for the class, I'll still do those at 30% off. So just in your class notes, say 30%, or not class notes, your checkout notes, just put 30% off and I'll discount it because it's expensive between the design and the hoop and all of that. Get the biggest hoop you can get for your machine. If you had to choose one or the other,
meaning if they had 9.5 by 14 or 10.5 by 16, you'd go 10.5 by 16.
Yeah, if you're Solaris and Luminaire and you're gonna get one, I would get the 10.5 by 16. If you can, get both of them because I don't like to use the biggest hoop if I can fit it into the smaller hoop. Meaning if I can fit it into the 9.5 by 14, that's the hoop I'm going to use because it's smaller and it's easier to manage. But then there's some pedals where it's going to be a struggle to fit it into that 9.5 by 14, and it's going to be much easier for you to use the 10.5 by 16. If you're one of those machines that has the app, I still use the snap hoop. I just trick the machine into thinking.
You put the other hoop over it.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that in the class. So it's not mandatory for the machines that have the positioning app. It's still kind of nice. So I would still get one of those. So a 9.5 by 14, just add it to your notes. I don't have the discount code for the design yet, but I will have that. So I have to email them, and I totally forgot. I meant to do it this morning, but I will have that for you. That's it for me. Patrick can finish with technical questions.
I think, are there any other technical questions?
The link is too big to post all the info. I like big links. Okay, anything else? Anything else that you can think of?
I don't think so.
All right.
All right. Onward and upward.
We are over and out. We'll see you tomorrow.
Is this panel class different from prior year using built-in Lumi files? Yes, it is. They are using the Stitch Delight design specific to, so there's a specific design that is made for the Dream panels.
Yes. So we did, and we'll do that class as well. We did 2 different classes. One were the class using the Stitch Delight designs, which are just beautiful. And then the second class was using the fills in your machine. And that class, I feel like you learn so much and it's super fun. We'll do that as well. We're just not going to do it right now. We'll probably do it maybe February or March.
Did we need to talk about any of this stuff?
Oh my God, this is super expensive.
Exciting.
Not expensive. This is super important.
I'm gonna leave you to it.
Okay.
Bye.
Get to know Artspira. If you are trying to learn how to use that Artspira, Michelle, are you in class?
No, it's this afternoon.
But do you mind coming over with some of the samples that you're gonna need, like the rhinestone one? And the t-shirt. Okay, get to know Artspira. That's this afternoon. You can still sign up. If you want to sign up, call me. Sign up online and then call me so I can send you all the links. Sometimes I don't check my emails in time to get you into the class. Tomorrow and Friday, so Thursday and Friday, we're doing the Easter Terror event. Michelle and I are doing that together. There's another Print Moda fun class. So the Print Moda fun class is going to be on the 16th. And Michelle's going to have the sample to show you for that one. So the Print Moda is going to be the fabric printer for...
We'll get that one too.
She's going to go grab that one. So that's going to be the fabric printer from Brother and all the new and exciting things that you can do with that. There is a Get to Know Your Scan and Cut class, and that is going to be on the 19th. I think today's I'm getting panels in today. Cindy K, I'm sending all your stuff out. We'll send all of that out because there's a kit for that. So if you want to take the Get to Know Your Scan and Cut class, and that's a gateway class into Michelle's other Scan and Cut classes, you need to take the Get to Know Your Scan and Cut class before you can take the other classes because you're not starting from scratch. So she knows you have that base level knowledge. That's going to be on the 19th. We do that class maybe once a month, once every other month. So get signed up for it and do it today so we can get your kit out to you. I can't guarantee if you sign up later on that I can get your kit to you. Accessory class. We have an accessory class. Oh, let's talk about Print Moda really quickly. We're just going to show you the sample from the class.
So there's 3. So the Print Moda class is we're not going to be making these projects in class. But we're going to talk about how I made fabric for these projects, and then I'll give you the directions if you want to do the projects on your own. But this was one of the first ones I did, which was to use one of the built-in frames in Artspira to print this picture of my dog on a little pillow. And then the other thing I did was I purchased some graphic files to be able to print not just fabric, but a graphic. So, and then if you turn it over, there's like a scenery on the back.
I was like, where did you get that gorgeous fabric? And
Yeah.
Michelle goes, I printed it.
Yeah.
Which I thought was,
So I
and
think
this is printed. So it's all amazing.
Oh, NorCal Quilter always wants to know what's on the back of my jacket. This one's from Disney World from about 10 years ago, so Mickey Mouse is on the back of it.
Yeah. So,
But I have a thing for NorCal Quilter. I have actually been working on a kid's jacket with some fun stuff on it because every time I look at that jean jacket, I think, what's on the back of your jacket?
Yeah.
So, but and then the other one was this is just a regular In the Hoop project from Parker on the Porch, but I was thinking about donuts, and so I purchased some.
Who doesn't think about donuts?
Well, I could have thought about ice cream for that one too, but I guess, but. I was thinking about donuts, so I wanted to be able to create my own donut fabric rather than go from place to place to place or shop to shop to shop looking for donut fabric. So I'm having a lot of fun with the Print Moda printer.
So,
The Artspira.
oh yeah,
So
Artspira.
there's still time. You can still get in. But get to know Artspira. There's a lot of brouhaha going on about Artspira. And I think that if you don't kind of look at it for yourself, you're doing yourself a disservice, because there's a lot of stuff in there. So part of it's a free subscription and part of it's a paid subscription. And what I'm showing off in the class in Artspira today is just the free stuff. So this is a free design using the background, and it's a knockdown stitch and then one of the letters from my machine. Here's another one. Free design. Look at this one. How cute is this bag? It's a free design. And none of this went, and this was fun. That's using Scan and Cut and my sewing machine. And then look at this one. This was a fun one. That was a free design. So, but I think what the most important thing is about Artspira is it's going to be the gateway to a lot of other stuff. So Artspira controls the print motor printer. You can send images to the printer. You can send images to the sublimation printer, to your Brother wireless embroidery machine, to Scan and Cut. I mean, it's just so much fun. So I still have room today.
Yeah,
If
you sign up, call the store so we can make sure we put you in there.
There's no prep work.
No
So
prep work.
You just have to have it on your device.
We have an accessory class. So we do an accessory class. You learn to use the main feet and accessories that come with your Brother and Baby Lock machine. And that's going to be on January 24th. It's a hands-on class. You're going to be stitching the entire time.
Ladies always have such a great
They
time.
love
They
it.
learn so much about the feet in their machine. In that
Yeah,
class.
I mean, you do everything from your overcasting to your blind hem to your zipper to your buttonhole. You did a twin needle, and then there's a little machine maintenance where we show you how to properly take off your needle plate, how to take out your bobbin case, your bobbin, clean everything out, and the order in which to put it back together again. So I think it's like one of the best classes, and it's a class that everyone
Suzanne does
should
an
take.
amazing job with that class. Yeah, she does.
There's a stellar sewing class, and that's going to be on January 30th, and it's the main sewing features. If you purchased your machine from us, it's a complimentary class, and if you did not, you can still sign up for a nominal fee. Luminaire Solaris Design Center.
Yeah,
so
that one's a good
that's
one.
an amazing class. I don't have the sample for you, but we'll show that to you later on, and that's going to be on the 31st. And that's an introduction to your Design Center IQ Designer portion of your machine.
Again, a lead in to any other classes that we do after that fact using Design Center or IQ Designer. Sometimes we do some secondary classes with that. The primary one is oh, thank you, Linda. That was very nice. Sometimes we do some advanced classes with Design Center. This one's always going to be one of the prerequisites, so we don't have to start at the beginning.
Yeah, it gives you an intro into your line properties, your fill properties, and all the different icons that are going to be in Design Center and the different
Thank you, Secretary
screens.
Monday, who is busy at work this morning, posting all the links for you that are watching the live stream.
On February 2nd, we're going to be doing Scan and Cut Rhinestone Starter.
Yes, so the Rhinestone Starter Kit, and there's one right there, if you can hand me that is one of the accessories you can add to your Scan and Cut. It loads into Scan and Cut Canvas. And we have this beginner class that just looks at some of the stuff that you got, how to cut, how to place, how to fuse, how to do all that stuff. Because it gives you more than just the designs that load into Scan and Cut Canvas. The Rhinestone Wizard allows you to create your own designs. So with that, I was able to create our secondary project here, which is
so awesome.
T-shirt using it's the shapes of the writing here. And created my own outline for that. And then also, if you looked at the Technique Tuesday I posted for the 2nd of January, I also used that Rhinestone Wizard to do a mixed media with puff vinyl, glitter vinyl, and rhinestones on a t-shirt.
Yeah, so if you've ever wanted to do rhinestones before and you kind of struggle and you don't know what products to use, which products are going to give you the best result, you're going to love this class. And
Marlene, this kit does not come with the scan and cut. It is an upgrade kit. So if you have a 200 series, you got what they call a taste of rhinestones. They gave you some rhinestones and a couple of designs that have rhinestones, but it doesn't give you the ability to create your own. That's part of the upgrade.
Do they need that kit to take the beginners, this class?
Well, they do, because they won't have any of the back stuff. They won't have any of the template fabric or anything.
And that's written in the description, so
Yeah,
they should know
yeah,
that. Okay.
Yeah, you have to have the starter kit. That's part of one of the prerequisites for that class.
Okay. There is also a Stellar Embroidery Features class that's going to be on February 7th. That's going to be the embroidery side of the Stellar, Altair, XE1, XJ1, XE2, XJ2, and the Meridian. So that's class is for you. There's another session. So there's 2 sessions of the t-shirt class.
Two of these. The first session sold out, so I listed another session yesterday for the 6th from 1 to 3.
2/8 sold out. There's still room in 2/6. And then on 2/15, there's going to be a Stellar Design Center class. That's also going to be IQ Designer if you have a baby lock machine, and complimentary if you bought your machine from us. And like I said, nominal fee if you didn't. If you're from somewhere else, you never got that training on your machine, and you want to learn what Design Center is all about, that class is for you.
So Marlene, you're right. It doesn't matter if it's a Disney machine or not a Disney machine. That's not part of the rhinestone. But some of the 200 series machines, the 230, the 225, those came with a little trial package of rhinestones. It did not give you the rhinestone wizard. It just gave you a taste. So if that's what you have and you want to do the class, that's fine, but you won't have what you would need to do this, because this requires the upgrade kit.
Okay.
So if you want to do the beginner class, you should have had enough that came in there. They gave you a little piece of the template fabric. They gave you some rhinestones. They gave you some transfer. You'll have enough to do the class.
So this class, they don't need that.
No.
Okay.
No. She just does, because she has a 200 series.
She's got a 200
But they can't
series.
go from there to here.
Okay.
Without
so
it.
for the starter class, you don't need the kit, but for the t-shirt class, you do need the kit.
So that's kind of, well, no, not really. If they don't have template fabric, they need the starter kit. Because that's what they just threw it in. Brother threw it in the 200 series, and none of the other ones will have
I'm
it.
confused. Do they need this for that?
For this, yes.
Okay, so if you're taking the t-shirt class, you
This.
do need this. You do need this.
So do keep in mind that, I'm going to repeat it again. If you got a Scan and Cut 200 series, and the SDX, whatever the letters are irrelevant. If it's a 200 or 220 or a 225
Or 230, I have a
or
230.
230, they gave you in the box what they call a taste of rhinestones. So you got some template fabric, you got some rhinestones, and you got a rhinestone design on the machine. If that's you can take the class. For the beginners, not the beginning class.
Yes.
Yeah, not the t-shirt class. Anybody else is going to need to have the rhinestone starter kit, and they are also, because the kit that we do for that beginner class does not have template fabric in it, because they would have gotten it in the kit. So if you're unsure, just call.
Yes, just call us. All right, I think that's it. That's our update for classes. We're going to get working. We will see you tomorrow. Be creative and make something awesome, and